It just popped up real.
Good afternoon. Welcome to the Cleveland Avenue's Go Team meeting, where we will follow the agenda as it has been emailed to you and publicly noticed. I would like to remind everyone that this is a meeting of the Go Team. Only members of the team may participate in the discussion. Any members of the public present are here to quietly observe. For members of the Go Team, please identify yourself when you speak. I'm pleased to call this meeting of the Cleveland Avenue Go Team to order at 4:01 p.m. Our first order of business is to call roll. The secretary will now take the roll. Okay, I'm gonna call roll. So Jasmine Emmanuel is present.
Here.
Kenya Jackson.
Present.
Donna Jenkins.
Present.
Courtney Reynolds.
Present.
And not sure who iPhone is.
Oh, I'm sorry, Ebony Ison. I can try to change that.
Okay, Ms. Ebony, you were the parent member. Okay. All right. So this team will only be able to take official action if a quorum is present. Is there a quorum present? I believe yes. Ms. White just came on.
Hello.
Hi. We were trying to make sure there was a quorum present. So I was saying a quorum is present. We have 6 people. Correct?
Yes, correct. We have a quorum.
And we have
right.
seven now, real.
Okay, good. All right. Yes, there is a quorum present. So we are going to proceed to action items. The first action item is approval of the agenda. It is provided to you and copies are in the invitation. Are there any changes to the agenda? And may I have a motion to approve the agenda?
I, Donna Jenkins, make a motion to approve the agenda as shared.
A second?
Second, Courtney Reynolds.
All in favor, please say aye so the secretary can record your vote.
Aye.
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 All opposed, please say nay. Any abstentions? Please say abstain. Okay, we will review and approve the meeting minutes from our last meeting. The minutes have been provided to you. Are there any corrections? May I have a motion to approve the previous meeting's minutes?
Courtney Reynolds, I make a motion that we approve the minutes.
A second.
I, Donna Jenkins, second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, please say nay. Any abstentions? Please say abstain. All right, so the first action item is discussion item is the 2025-2030 strategic plan development, where we are going to confirm mission and vision, goals from previous meeting, and develop 2025-2030 strategic plan objective.
Alrighty, I'm going to share my screen. Let me know when you see it.
We
Can
see
you
it.
see it? Okay. Awesome. So let me advance forward to where we are for this evening's meeting. We are currently continuing the 25-20 2025-2030 school strategic plan development process. We started this process during the last Go Team meeting. We are probably at step 4 tonight. So part of the strategic plan and overview, the purpose is what you will see on the screen at this time. Let me move this so I can see. The purpose is to cascade the district strategic plan to the school level while grounding our focus in the school's continuous improvement plan. The timeline for this is 2030 as outlined in the strategic goals and objectives, and it will be approved and ranked by January 2026. Schools will focus on the strategies as part of the FY27 budget and continuous improvement plan process. So first, we will revisit the district's 2025-2030 strategic plan, and I'll give you just a moment to look back over this. At the end of the day, these are the initiatives that we want to focus on as we begin to align our school strategic plan with that of the district. So what you'll see are the 6 overarching focus areas, as well as the goals under each one. We will align our specific goals to meet that of the districts. So this is just to familiarize yourself with the district strategic plan so we can make sure that we are remaining focused on the end goal. The Go Team's focus is the governance aligned portion of the strategic plan. We will dive into the specific strategies and actions as part of our budget development as previously discussed. So the goal of the Go Team at this point is to focus on the mission and vision and the strategic goals. This just outlines the steps in the strategic planning process. The last meeting, we confirmed our 2030 goals, which was step 3. This evening, we will focus on step 4, which is aligned to identifying our strategic objectives. And this is business meeting 3. So these are the areas that we will focus on for this evening. The next slide shows you a little bit about what we discussed last week as just a review. We reviewed our school data, which you'll see right here, our KPIs. We reviewed that for Cleveland. We also went through and aligned our mission and vision with that of the districts. We made a couple of changes to, actually one change to our mission, and then we confirmed our 2030 strategic plan goals. We extended it from 2025 to 2030. That all took place during the last meeting. What you'll see is the small revision that we made to the vision statement by removing the word STEM. That was the only change that we agreed upon as a Go Team. And we agreed upon that simply because we were no longer a STEM school. So that is the only change that we made to the particular vision statement. There were no changes made to the mission statement. The proposed goals that we agreed upon as a Go Team were by 2030, 3rd through 5th grade students will increase scoring, developing, or above in ELA from 14% to 34%. Remember, this is over a 5-year term. By 2030, 3rd through 5th grade students will increase scoring, developing, or above in math from 15% to 35%. And then by 2030, the percent of students absent less than 10% will increase from 58.2% to 78.2%. Again, tonight's focus will focus on identifying the strategic objectives. We will participate in a stop and continue activity to identify what particular objectives we want to agree upon. We will also make sure that those objectives are aligned to the district's focus areas. And then we will also agree to move forward with continuing any objectives that we are currently doing right now. All right, so let's get down to some of the action steps. Using our 2025-2030 strategic goals as a guide, we will complete a start, stop, and continue exercise to review our current strategic priorities. Right now, these are called school strategic priorities, and they will now be aligned to the 6 focus areas for the district. Some of the guiding questions that we can think about when determining the school strategic priorities that we want to stop or continue, we could think about, are there any priorities or activities that are not having the needed impact that we are in need of and should be stopped? It looks like there might be Ms. Darden entering the waiting room. Does anybody else see that?
But she is a member of the Go team. She is one of my parents.
Is she in there yet? I just wanted to make sure I stopped before moving
Yes,
forward.
she's in.
Okay, all right. I just wanted to make sure I got her in before I move forward. So again, as a Go team, we're going to use the guiding questions to determine these 8 school strategic priorities, those that we want to stop and those that we want to continue as a focus area. Remember, the goal is to make sure that they align with the district's 6 focus areas. So what you'll see in the middle are 8 school strategic priorities. Looking at these 8 school strategic priorities, think about what has been working, what needs to be completed, what we never started, and what changes may be made. And on this particular slide, I just really want you to take a look at the 8 priorities and kind of in your mind, think about a check meaning yes and an X meaning no. So ideally, which one of these 8 strategic priorities you think check meaning yes, we're going to continue, X meaning no, we don't need to continue those because they currently are not making an impact on our goals. So kind of think about that right now. So I'll give you a little while to look at these strategic priorities and kind of jot down or think about, take a mental note of which ones you think should be a check and which ones you think should be an X. Okay, I'm going to move to the next slide. These priorities are also on that slide too. If you're still thinking through your thoughts about those priorities, you can see it again on the next slide. I kind of got a head start for us as a team by putting an X and a check beside each one so that as we have discussions, I would just either add or remove as needed. So thinking about the first strategic priority, implement standards-based instruction while creating rigorous student learning experiences that are aligned to the standard and assessed with quality assessments. As a team, are we thinking X or check?
I say definitely a check.
Mm-hmm. Check, definitely.
Is there anyone that would like to vote X? Okay. So as of right now, I'm assuming the all Go team members are in agreement with the check being there.
Yes.
Uh-oh, let me go back. All right, number 2, implement PBL units using the engineering design and inquiry-based process.
I would say X.
I say X.
Is there anyone who mentioned X like to share for anybody who may not be aware of why that might be an X to guide them in their thought process so that they understand why you might have chosen X?
This is Dr. Real. I would say because we don't have the capacity right now, we don't have a STEAM coach or a science coach. And the focus in the STEM lab is more on the science standards. It does have I do the activities and everything, but it's not the PBL units as far as the school-wide issue that we were trying to tackle. Now, the teachers have PBL units from the past that they're welcome to use within their units, but we don't have the capacity for that school-wide PBL that we were doing.
Thanks for
And I
sharing,
also
Dr.
wanted
Real.
to share from that what Dr. Real just shared. As for instruction, I know we used to have a STEM coordinator to help guide us through the units, and since we don't have access to that anymore, I feel like that second one shouldn't be a priority.
Is there anyone that would like to keep the check there as opposed to the two Go Team members that have spoken about the X? Okay. I am assuming that we are in agreement to mark that one as an X to stop that particular priority. Moving on to number 3, incorporate learning time for students to address instructional needs based on data.
Check.
I say check as well.
For and this is Ms. Jenkins, the incorporate learning time, what does that mean? Or is the time taken from specials, or is it during like instructional time where certain students are pulled?
Is there anyone who would like to answer that? That's a good question, Ms. Jenkins.
Well, I would like to share that what comes to mind first is intervention. During our on our daily schedule, we have that intervention block where those students we pull in small group based on their data to work on some skills that they may lack in, or the support of our MTSS specialists will come in and do and support us around whichever skills that those particular group of students need support on. So that's why I suggest that we keep that as a check.
Thank you.
Or anyone who would like to share whether they feel like this should be stopped?
And this is Ms. Jenkins again. I'm sorry. For number 3, was it just measured through the interventions? How did you guys determine which students receive? Did all students receive? Because the incorporate learning time for students to address instructional needs based on the data. So I know, like, if you give an assessment, you have a group of students who may not perform well. From this, are measurements usually created to determine, if you're pulling students and you're creating some type of intervention, is there a system in place or is this just general?
Good question again.
The intervention, which is for everyone. So the 140 time at the end of the day is for everyone, but it does depend on the data. So teachers have scheduled it different ways, like maybe Monday, Tuesday reading, Wednesday, Thursday math, and Friday science. But then also within their classroom instruction, there should be small groups. So that is more so based on, like the day-to-day classroom assessment data. But the end of the day is based on like whether it's MAP or whatever type of assessment. So it's basically 2 opportunities. And they're both tailored, but one is everybody. The other one is like whichever the small group is that needs that support at that time.
Ms. Jenkins, at the beginning of the year, the students take a diagnostic that kind of starts you out with looking at the data. And then as the year progressed, there are different screeners that students can engage with in order to give them X number of data points needed to determine whether a student progresses from tier 1, which is what all students are exposed to tier 2, and then to tier 3. So it's a tiered system, and it's based off data starting with the diagnostic and then continuing on with screeners that are provided to students who may not be progressing as expected throughout the regular general ed tier 1 process. They can take different screeners to determine if there are a little bit more intensive interventions needed in the areas of reading, math, and behavior in order to support that student. And then there's about 4 to 6 weeks of data collected based off of that particular intervention to determine, again, is this working or is this not working? Should we do something else? Or are there other areas of concern that need to be identified to move that student a little bit further from tier 2 to a more intensive layer of support, which is tier 3? And that ultimately is the last tiered area for general ed instruction when it comes to opportunities for support. So to go back to what Dr. Real and Ms. Reynolds spoke about at the end of the day, that is a school-wide RTI block, meaning that all students, regardless of whether they are on tier 1 and need enrichment because they already are meeting goals, so maybe they need to advance further, or are they on tier 2 and tier 3 where they need some interventions in order to intervene on their current grade level and scaffold down. So regardless of that, where they place, that's an opportunity for all teachers to provide students whatever support they may need or enrichment as needed.
Perfect. Thank you.
You're welcome. All right, moving on to strategy 4. Priority 4, partner with health and wraparound support organizations to provide wraparound mental health and social emotional support.
This is Dr. Real.
Courtney Reynolds, I agree. Check.
White, check.
Is there anyone that feels that we should stop this particular priority? Okay, I have marked that one as a check. Priority number 5, build teacher capacity K through 5 for reading teachers to deconstruct standards, select effective instructional strategies, and measure student progress.
I say check.
And while thinking about 5 and 6, if you can think about it from 5 being reading and 6 being math, maybe you can
Yeah.
share them both at the same time.
Yes, I think check for the both of those.
I think check for the both of them as well.
Is there anyone who feels like there should be a stop for these 2 priorities? Okay, priority 7, provide learning opportunities for parents and community partners to support their children with academic and school readiness.
I would say check, but it was something about what can we do to increase, like I know we want to increase the opportunities because we have the dine and data and dine, and then I know we're having the winter fest and we're having the STEM night, but I don't know if there are more opportunities for actually them supporting their children academic and with academic and school readiness, like monthly or whatever. So, but I would say check. This is Dr. Real.
Is there anyone who feels that this should be a priority that is stopped? Okay, the last priority is provide opportunities for parents to engage with school-based staff in the areas of STEM and GSE standards.
This is Dr. Real.
Seven and eight are kind of, can we edit these and maybe blend them together? For 7 and 8?
Did everyone hear the question? I think Ms. White was asking if 7 and 8 needed to be merged to create one priority. Keep in mind, we do have to have 6 to 12 priorities.
Okay, that makes sense then. How many have we X'd off the list so far?
Good question. So far we've X'd off number 2, implement PBL units using the engineer design and inquiry-based process. That is the only one so far that we've X'd off. So are we in agreement to keep number 8?
Yes.
Yes.
I think so.
Okay, so what you'll see is a recap of the 8 strategic objectives. And just to clarify, as a team, we have decided to keep number 1, X number 2, keep 3, keep 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. 2 would be the only objective that we X off. Are we in agreement with that?
Yes.
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 Okay, so what we have to do now is take the 7 objectives that we have agreed to continue, and we have to now specify what focus area these objectives will fall under as it relates to the district's strategic plan. So the district has 6 focus areas. On the left, you will see getting back to basics, the 3 that fall under that category. And then on the right, the 3 are community of believer focus areas. So I'll give you a moment just to look at those 6 focus areas that are outlined for the district strategic plan, and we will be charged with placing our goals under these 6 focus areas. What you see at the bottom are just examples. So for instance, fostering academic excellence for all, as is likely aligned to we are strengthening our instructional core. So if a school has a strategic goal related to academic excellence for all, ideally it will fall under instructional core. If a school has a strategic priority aligned to building a culture of student support, that's most likely going to fall under we are caring for every child. So we are charged now with taking our 7 agreed upon strategic priorities and placing them in alignment with the district's 6 focus areas. So again, I've tried to get ahead of it and place the 8 without knowing that, there would be some that would be excluded. Place the 8 standards in the middle. We are down to 7, so please dismiss number 2, and I'll make note of it and update all of the slides when we're done. Those 7 priorities, we need to place them under these 6 focus areas. So for number 1, the implement standards-based instruction while creating rigorous student learning experiences. Where are we thinking that particular priority should go?
Maybe
Say we go-
strengthening the instructional core.
Yeah, I would say the first one.
I had a question about the number of priorities. Is it okay to have 7, or do we have to find something to be 8? You know what I mean? You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's a good question.
Okay.
It said 6 to 12. So it doesn't sound like we have to have 2 under each category.
Okay.
But I mean, there is an opportunity for us to start something new when we get to that particular slide. Maybe there's something that we want to start that we don't have listed currently. All right, so we have placed number 1 under strengthening our instructional core. Am I correct?
Right.
Okay. Number 3, incorporate learning time for students to address instructional needs based on data.
And we are strengthening our instructional core.
It could be, our school is efficient and effective as well.
For that, because it's around scheduling.
And, needs based on data.
Yeah, I
I hear
agree.
number 1. I hear we're strengthening number 3. I hear that it could be under strengthening our instructional core. It could be under efficient and effective. So in looking at
Be caring for every child too. Oh man.
so we look back at the district strategic plan, the slide that was way at the beginning. Let's go back to the beginning one. And let's look at what they have under our system is efficient and effective. So it has things like Atlanta students will have the schools and resources they need to succeed. It talks about leveraging data to drive financial investments, maximizing facility usage for the students, and implementing initiatives. Of course, that's on the district level. So that will look a little bit different on the school level. But I figured maybe going back to look at what they have might help us determine where to best place ours. And then the next option was we're strengthening our instructional core that focuses on the students having high quality instruction, materials, and targeted support. That's probably a little bit more aligned with our
I
priority
agree.
because of that targeted support piece.
Yeah, we can put it there.
Okay. All right, so the next one was partner with health and wraparound support organizations to provide wraparound mental health and social emotional support.
Caring for every child.
Hmm,
Would it go under we are caring for every child?
that's that.
I agree.
That's what I say.
Yeah, I agree. And some of the things they have under the district's plan is Atlanta students will have trusted, supportive adults meeting their unique needs. So are we thinking that probably should go under we're caring for every child?
Yes.
I think so.
Mhm.
Cause it sound like whole child.
Okay. Number 5 and 6 are related to building teachers' capacity. Remember with number 5 being focusing on reading and number 6, math.
Rank
I
this
think
a
this is Courtney
10.
Reynolds. Uh-oh. Go Reynolds. I was gonna suggest that it should go under strengthening of our
Strengthen our team.
instructional core.
But we can only have two under each.
Yeah,
That one should be the strength is the team.
I think Miss
Yeah, I
Emmanuel put
agree.
that down too. She put something in the chat, again, because she's unable to respond to all of them. Our strength is our team. I'm not quite sure which one she put that for.
So I was putting that. Hi, this is Miss Emmanuel. I was putting our strength as our team since we have two for reading and math. I was thinking we're building the teacher's knowledge.
Oh, I
Mhm.
like
And I
that.
was looking at your APS one that you just put up, and I was thinking maybe that could fit underneath there because we're strengthening the teacher's knowledge in order to teach the students.
All
Yeah,
right,
the
let's.
district one was aligned like that too.
So the districts say Atlanta students will have effective and engaged teachers, leaders, and staff. So yeah, that's probably a good one, a good place to put it.
Both of those.
Okay, what number was that?
5
Um,
and
I
6.
think both 5 and 6, or 1 and 2.
Okay. All right, so number 7, provide learning opportunities for parents and community partners to support their children with academic and school readiness.
Responsibility is shared.
Responsibility shared.
Oh, y'all so good. The districts say Atlanta students will have supportive families, communities, and partners. Okay.
Yep.
And then the last one, provide opportunities for parents to engage with school-based staff in the areas of STEM and GSE standards.
Same one.
Are we in agreement to put that one under our responsibility is shared?
Dr. Bill
Yes,
agreed.
I agree.
Okay. So let me go back and make sure that I have everything correct. Number 1, we're placing under we strengthen our instructional core. Number 2, we are omitting. Number 3 goes under we're strengthening our instructional core. Number 4 was we're caring for every child. Number 5 and 6 were under our strength is our team. Number 7 and 8 were under our responsibility is shared. So right now, there are no objectives under we're sparking student curiosity, and there are no priorities, no objectives under our school is efficient and effective. So in thinking about what we just said, we're also going to look and make sure those are aligned to our KPIs. And again, on the bottom left-hand corner, you'll also see our 2030 goals, just to make sure that that's also a focused area that we're ensuring we're looking at when making decisions based off of our objectives. So now, after we've aligned our objectives to the appropriate focus area, this is an opportunity to identify any new objectives the school must start to address the goals in the plan. You should have 1 to 2 objectives for each focus area. So as mentioned previously, we need an objective for we are sparking student curiosity, as well as an objective for our school is efficient and effective. And then at the bottom, it says, make sure you have something in the community of believers, focus areas that support your schoolwork. Strength is our team, responsibility is shared, and system is effective and efficient. So we're still missing that our school is efficient and effective. We need to make sure we create one for that one. All right, here we go. Are there any new objectives we must start to completely address our 2025-2030 strategic goals? This is an opportunity now. We need one for those two focus areas.
Can you put it on that slide?
Can we go back to the goals?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Okay. Let's go back to, I heard two different things. What goals did you want me to go back to?
The strategic
The districts
Yep.
or our? Okay,
hours.
okay. So our goals, let's see, right there.
Right, because we'll need to create an objective
Mhm.
that will help us reach our goals. But under efficiency, right?
And we need one for sparking student interest
Okay.
or curiosity. Okay. And then that was me asking for the slide, the district slide, describing the
The objectives for the district under the
objectives.
focus areas? Okay.
Yeah.
So the one at the bottom on the right side and left side are where we need to focus objective for. So I guess on the school level, it's more centered around making sure that the students and teachers have the resources that they need.
I'm not sure if I understand how to, I guess, convert it. So where it says our system is efficient and effective, and it says, this is Dr. Rowe, and it says maximize facility usage for the student and community good. Could it be that we have the parent room and we have, I guess, all the classrooms being used, whether it's EIP or the IR teachers have their classrooms? I don't know. But I would say the parent room would fit in with like community good.
I think we can think through if our goal is to continue to focus on increasing students like proficiency in reading and math. Do our students and teachers have all of the resources they need? Is our school effective in the way they are utilizing resources? Are there any resources that need to be thought through or purchased or focused or highlighted? I'm thinking maybe that would be under efficient and effective. Do our teachers and students have what they need in order to reach the goal of increasing the number of students scoring proficiency?
And my thought didn't even fall under because I went immediately to like scheduling,
Let's see.
but I don't see it. Like efficient, effective.
Okay.
But is there a like if you were to put like a goal, is there a budget? Like, I was just thinking with objectives, just trying to make sure we can attain them.
Right. Absolutely.
When I started thinking about how could we sustain what we have, like sustainability
Right.
plan, utilizing the resources, sharing those type of things.
Especially with, the budget restraints that we currently have and that we're going to have even tighter when it
Right.
comes to next year. So yeah, that's a good point to think through, Ms. Jenkins, when it comes to that particular area. So maybe let's look at the spark of student curiosity and come back to that one. Atlanta students will have access to explore and expand their passion and interest. So it looks like some of their examples are aligned to like world language and enrichment course offerings, expanding access to high interest and workforce ready offerings, and then exploring specialized and innovative school models. For instance, like a School of the Arts.
Would that have catered more to if we kept PBL units? Would that have fit there?
Looking at the first one where it says promote robust arts, athletics, world language, and enrichment offerings, I think we have all of that because we have an art program, we have Spanish, so we have a language program, we have the enrichment offerings. I don't know if it would be the gifted program or talent development. And then we have things like National STEM Honor Society. So I think if anything, it would be within that first bullet.
And you have career days and things like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm. I guess I would like to personally see more clubs being offered for students. You know, not all students are academically strong, but there may be some students that are interested in a garden club or a chess club or, just a variety of clubs that are at least offered for students that may not even know what their interests are or what their talents are, but that are offered for students to be engaged with, that might spark their curiosity on the elementary level outside of just course offerings, because when you're talking about course offerings, that's something that we would have to get approval for and things like that. It's not something that we have a lot of flexibility with, but when you're talking about things on the school level, we can control some of the opportunities that are offered to students to spark their curiosity in the form of clubs or activities, or like, Ms. Emmanuel mentioned the PBL lessons, maybe not necessarily PBL lessons, but what are we doing on the school level that are outside of the norm that might spark a student's curiosity? It may not necessarily be reading and math.
At what grade level are students allowed to join groups or clubs?
That's a good question. So on the school level, I don't think currently we have very many clubs. Ms. Dr. Real spearheads STEM gyms for fourth and fifth grade girls right now. So that's something that is created for girls interested in STEM. And it is specified for fourth and fifth grade. I'm not quite sure outside of that if we have any other clubs being offered, because it would be something that needs to be spearheaded and supported by a teacher who's willing to stay after school to do that. But it's something I feel we should consider as an option in some capacity.
In the past, we had K-5. We've had clubs K-5. So K2, we had coding, and then 3-5, we had the esports. So we've had K-5 clubs, but like Dr. Jackson said, we just need the staff to be able to lead the clubs. I do know we have a chess population, so that might be a good one. I don't mind spearheading it, but I don't know how to play chess, but they do. So we do have that population though at our school.
Does APS or just the district in general have like elementary school competitions or leagues or anything like that?
So yeah, good question. So at my principal's meeting yesterday, they actually talked about the basketball and cheerleading team that is offered amongst the clusters for a variety of schools. And I know Cleveland had a basketball and cheer team last year, and they were able to compete against different basketball leagues in the district. And the cheerleaders not only cheered at the games, but they also cheered at different school events and things like that. This year, we were willing to continue that, and we're looking really forward to it, and the students were too. But the interested coaches, the coach that did it the previous year physically is unable to do it this year, and the other person that was interested in it is no longer interested in spearheading that. So again, it kind of goes back to the staff that's willing to spearhead these things. But on the flip side, I will say that maybe there needs to be a goal created that would force us as a school to be a little bit more accountable for some of these activities that we're saying our students may need to be, subjected to in order to spark their curiosity, to hold us accountable for making sure that staff members, express interest and follow through with some of those activities. Maybe it needs to be a goal in order for us to take it a little bit more seriously and be a little bit more proactive in implementing these activities.
Also, if you're talking about like the science fair, the technology fair, we have the math science Olympiad. So there are other competitions.
Okay, yeah.
And also, third grade competed in the picture bowl this year, and there's a reading bowl for fourth and fifth graders.
We also have gifted and talented as well, and they also go off campus sometimes for different things. I think gifted and talented is K-5, right?
Yes.
Yeah, I've seen Kinder.
So I agree with you, Dr. Jackson, to create a goal for getting those clubs up and running.
So maybe like one of the verbs we can use to kind of get us thinking through that is related to promoting. We can't expand what we don't already have, but maybe we can promote blah, 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 as it relates to some of these activities for K-5. Because I think that's a good starting point.
So promote clubs and competitions, K-5, or how would we word it?
Could we add clubs on there? Clubs, competition, something?
Maybe are we promoting like students' interest in clubs?
Okay,
In the arts. And
did I hear add arts?
I said, are we promoting like student interest in the arts by providing clubs and activities, something along that line? Just giving suggestions.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so just as a draft, I just have promote clubs, competitions, and athletic opportunities to interested K-5 students.
Yes.
This is Dr. Real agree.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right. One more. Now we're back to our system is efficient and effective. All right, let's think. Let's go back and look at our goals again, like Jenkins said before, that kind of helped us the last time.
So our goals are tied really to ELA math and then
Attendance.
attendance. And so I was, when I thought about ELA and math, I was getting into being efficient with our scheduling, additional time. But
Maybe we can tie attendance to, because now students do have personal devices. So we can kind of, I don't know, I'm trying to connect attendance with use of the devices. So kind of still being responsible or having some kind of assignments to still do in lieu of being present at school to like increase the efficiency or effectiveness of them using the
yes,
devices.
do you guys
That's a
have
good.
any instructional program that is good, like Study Island or something that the school already has? Oh, they have the things on the district, right? A portal?
So one thing the district did create for like our what were those days called, guys, where we went to work and the kids stayed at home this year? They weren't remote days, were
Yeah,
they?
Professional learning.
Extended
Extended
learning.
learning days. So
Yeah.
the district had extended learning plans that were optional for students if parents wanted students
Oh,
to continue instruction. They were created by the district, and they also said that the schools could create their own if they wanted to. But the ones that they were pushing for schools to create were more like a paper pencil print off type thing, and I didn't push for it because it was optional. And I was thinking, well, that's a lot of paper to use and toner and stuff to use if the parents weren't really didn't really have the communication up front to know that that was even an option. So in thinking about a goal for moving forward, maybe we can create an opportunity for students to have access to like Google Slides or Google Classroom, some type of electronic instructional program that they can access in order to stay abreast of what's happening at school if they are, for instance, absent. They can still, have access to instruction.
I like that.
Yes, because
Yeah, me too. That sounds good.
yes, I had a student today tell me that he was filling in the yellow. We rate by red, yellow, or green. He was filling in the yellow because he was having a good day, but he had a lot of work to do because he didn't come to school yesterday.
Mm,
Mhm.
yeah.
So I don't know. That just was something. Because he
I
still
like
had to do
that
his
too.
work. He had to do his work, and he was a little bit overwhelmed because he had more work than his peers by not being at school yesterday. So it almost made him feel like I should have just come to school. But if they
And
have a way to do work outside of school because they are
Oh, wow.
aged, then
Yeah.
And they don't drive. So a lot of our students
Mhm.
aren't at school sometimes, because of adult barriers. So, if they can't get to school themselves. So a lot of that accountability doesn't really fall on the
on
particular
them,
student.
yeah.
Yeah.
So maybe something we can say related to increasing access to, trying to
Instructs.
think of like, yeah, instructional, I guess electronic or um
Instructional platform.
Yeah, or instructional material. Yes.
mhm.
Because I don't know how realistic it is, but at my son's school, like they utilize and I know the district kind of has its own thing, like Google Classroom. So much, like all of the assignments are there. So when we're out, we keep up with what's happening, um, in the grade level, like the assignments or the presentations, is always there so they can review. But I know there's like some manpower around it as well.
Yeah, that was gonna be my next question, because like this would be very good for like my son today. He was sick. So I would have loved to see some type of get online and see some type of instruction or material that I would be able to give
Yeah.
him. But
Even if you
who
drop a
would
YouTube link.
yeah, but
Mhm.
who would be like how would there be more on teachers having to upload all this stuff every day?
I was just about to say our poor teachers. I don't
Yeah.
know.
It doesn't have to start off being so extensive. Like Dr. Jackson said, if it comes to the days where you guys are off, then maybe like right before, maybe a grade level can upload something for the students to practice that day. And in the future, this could be something that hopefully either a school or district can put in place. It's just a suggestion.
Yeah, it will be something else for the teachers um to do, but honestly, I don't ask a lot of the grade level chairs in their current role. So maybe it could be something that the grade level chairs can discuss with their team as it relates to the responsibility and accountability that will fall on as a team or one particular team member, to make sure that just generalized instructional materials are made accessible to students, maybe per unit, where it's not something they have to do every day, or maybe I don't know, I can't quite think through that far, but I'm just thinking about it, just the students having access to it, period. Or even something that as a school we can create early on or on planning days to kind of get ahead or think through, because we have substitute folders. So if we're keeping up with our substitute folders, then I feel like it should be something that we're doing on an ongoing basis to make sure students have access to instruction when they're not there. And I feel like it's a great opportunity of showing that we're
Yes.
efficient and effective, especially if we're talking about attendance. And it will also support us when it comes to ELA and math too, because they won't get so far behind. So either we do it on the front end and provide them with the work that they're missing on the front end, or we're going to do it on the back end and have to remediate and intervene and provide them support when they're missing it because they're not now meeting the goals and objectives that they're supposed to be meeting anyway. So either way it goes, it's going to have to be done.
Does
Yeah.
this also connects with providing parents with the resources? Because I
Mhm.
can only imagine like learning new math standards and parents we get homework and I'm like, what do we do with this? Even if it's a simple like YouTube link that's connected to a central place where we can review what teachers have taught. And like I said, it doesn't have to be something that's every day, but if it's a new concept where students are expected to practice at home, parents will
Yep.
know how to support their children.
Absolutely. I agree with that too.
Don't they have a platform that is based on their map um scores or map data that kind of meets them where they are, or it presents material to them that is reflective of their levels where they're testing, and it kind of
So
just continues going on and on and on. It kind of like never is that
Like their
not our
learning
map?
plan, like a learning plan for the students after they take the assessment.
Yes, it's a platform that they already use currently, right?
Right. I don't think it's mapped though.
Would
I
it
know,
be
I
something
know
like
I'm
the
I know
platform?
it's loop, it's holes. What you said, Miss Reynolds?
I'm wondering if it's the iReady platform.
Maybe I think that sounds like it. Yes.
Yeah, because when we were using the iReady platform, based on the students' scores, it already tracks like what they need to learn next or what they need to review for the upcoming map assessments. And then the teachers were able to use resources from that platform for like small group or whatever. But I don't know any other platform that comes to mind other than iReady that would.
I think
I
that
think
might be the one I'm
I was
talking
going to
about.
say, right now, iExcel does it. Our math coach, Miss Lawrence, she was able to map the students' map scores into the iExcel platform where they can click on a map button and it is programmed based on their scores. So they have lessons catered to what they scored, their RIT scores on the map assessment for reading and math because
Oh, good.
my students do it in small groups, so they follow that, but it has to be inputted by like a coach or whatever.
and they can
And so
access it at home.
yes,
Oh,
Well,
that's
they can
awesome.
get on iExcel at home.
but do the teachers still have access to iExcel right now?
Yes, we paid, well, they paid for it. It's we didn't have it at the beginning of this school year, but I
Purchased
think
it for reading
around,
and math.
yes, I think around October it was activated. And so now it's ongoing and Miss Lawrence is getting ready to update it again for the most recent scores.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah,
Thank you for letting
Excel
me
is
know.
amazing.
I know that that was one of the resources that I used heavily last year, and I would like to use it again this year. And to your point, Ms.
Right.
Manuel, Miss Lawrence did use that heavily, and that was something I really, really relied on. So I'm glad that we now have access to it again. Thank you.
No problem. And also, there's another one, Happy Numbers, that they
Yep.
talked about. Even though it's not linked to map scores, they do have to take a diagnostic before it has their own pathway. But to the point of having something instructional at home, I do like that they have videos on there and it walks students through each lesson. And if they get them wrong, a certain number wrong, it will do a remediation lesson as well. And
The one
so
I was
maybe
trying to
a
think of,
parent,
Emmanuel. I couldn't think of happy numbers. That's the one I was trying to think
Mhm.
of.
Yep.
And see, all of these are already existing. And so if we can point our objectives to these, then it kind of take that, I mean, the idea of adding another something else to the plate of the teachers, because this is something that's already existing, rolling and flowing.
And another resource that we could use is Splash Learn. I know I use that for math and for ELA. The parents, not the parents, but the teachers can assign different skills to the student. So if we have a student that is sick or can't make it to school for whatever the case is, at least they have um, those assignments linked to that platform. I think it'll be easier to assign it on the teacher end because we just have to go and just navigate it and assign it versus having to upload, like for example, a bunch of links to Google Classroom. That would probably be the easiest on the back end for the teachers.
That's a great idea.
Then this sounds like something
Yep.
that might be good to at our next parent night or, next event where we have parents present, something that we can maybe inform
Yeah.
our parents about. If we let them know that these are things that they can do at home, here's how you access them, and like actually walk our parents through how to do it so there is no reliance on a student who might not want to do it while they're at home. It kind of brings us all back to the responsibility is shared.
Gotcha.
I agree. And I really like that point, Miss White, because we do have like just a plethora of resources and platforms that we can use that, well, it can get overwhelming to teachers, but thinking about a parent at home who just wants extra practice, like we can offer it to the parents and just tell them what's out there. Because as you all were talking, I was thinking about Amira because my kids work on Amira in small groups, but a lot of them like to read at home. And so I just let them know how to get on at home. And some of the parents are able to watch them read through Amira. And there was another one also that I thought of. Oh, HMH, the HMH platform in general. I don't know how many teachers like really follow with the stories, but if a student misses the story on a Monday or a Tuesday, they're able to read that story at home and listen to it and do the vocabulary practice as well. And that's something the district paid for. And so It's free for
That's
us, and
good.
that at home.
So I have increasing students' access to electronic instructional materials and resources to utilize with student devices when absent, or not just when absent, or what?
I don't know if it just needs to stop at home, because
Okay.
I don't know, because
They're
when you
utilized
say
at
when
home.
absent, yeah.
Correct.
Okay.
We
So
don't want to
increasing
give any
students'
ideas
access.
for them to be trying to homeschool. No,
Yeah, or
leave the
thinking
baby at
that,
school.
yeah, or thinking that they can benefit from being at home. Because I had somebody call the other day about they want their child to be virtual. There's no virtual school anymore.
Oh, geez.
Okay, so increasing students' access to electronic instructional materials and resources to utilize with student devices at home.
Or beyond the instructional day, if you
Okay,
didn't want to emphasize at home.
beyond
Yeah.
the instructional day. And some of the examples that I just wrote down, IXL, Happy Numbers, Splash Learn, Amira, and HMH. Did I miss any?
I think I already was that one.
I
No,
don't
was
think
it?
we have already.
We don't have
We have
already.
already.
Okay, so not that one.
No, we don't have already, but that was one of the platforms that tracks them and their scores.
Okay.
I know that a lot
Also,
of school districts do like a one pager on their website where it gives you all of the, links for reading, math, science, whatever. So I don't know if that's something, Miss Cobb Smith could look at doing, because I think she's over the website. But I have seen a lot of districts have that available, as opposed to telling them, because they're not going to remember that, or a piece of paper is going to be in the parking lot. So something on the website, maybe.
Um, I'll ask Cotsmith to create it, but the website is now new. So Miss Mason will probably be, she's the website ambassador. So she'll probably have to be the one to upload it to the actual website, but Miss Cotsmith can be the one to create it. But I think that is really, really good information to have posted for all parents. So I think we have our student curiosity, sparking student curiosity priority, and now we have one for efficient and effective. You all are awesome,
Good
awesome,
job, team.
awesome. Woo-hoo! So where we're going, at our next meeting, we will vote on the strategic plan, and then we will rank our 2025 to 2030 strategic objectives from high to low priority, and then just begin the discussion of the 2026-2027 budget. You can let me or Miss Emmanuel know of any additional information that is needed for our future discussion. Are there any questions related to our work that we've done thus far? So I only have a few items for the principal's report. Based off of the numbers in our AU classes, we are busting at the seams in those two particular classes. Right now, we are at 24 students, possibly 25. One more student coming into our two AU classes. So as a result of the number of students that we have currently in the AU classrooms, we were provided an allotment from the special ed department of another para to support in the classrooms. We were also asked to go back and level those two classrooms. Originally, there was a classroom for K2 and a classroom for 3-5, and now they're asking us, because of the increase in the numbers, to consider making both classrooms K5 so that the classrooms can be leveled a little bit more appropriately. So there's not one sitting with maybe 9 and another one sitting with 13 or 14. So with the AU para position being approved from special ed, the next step is for HR to let us know about a go-ahead to post the position. And then, of course, we would have to go through the interviewing and hiring process to get the para on board for this current year. As a result of the number of students that we have. Ideally, they would like one AU teacher and two paraprofessionals for each classroom. And right now, only one classroom has two paraprofessionals because the other classroom has two paraprofessionals that are one-to-one assigned. So while it may look like there's 4 or 3 paraprofessionals in a classroom, it depends on how the assignment is for that particular para. And there are 2 paras right now, Miss Wheeler and Miss Green, that are technically only assigned to one student. So you can't count them as a para for the whole class because they are assigned to one particular student. So that's good news. I'm a little stressed about the hiring process. I know it this time of the year can be difficult, but we are going to move forward and see if we can get some support with HR when it comes to vetting some candidates for us to get a para in that classroom. And then also, I'm not quite sure if everyone is aware that the district has reorganized the district cabinet members. So if you go to the district website, you may see that there's not very much mention anymore about clusters or zones, simply because the cluster soups have been restructured now to support on different levels. So what you'll see is the APS organizational structure that's effective January 2026. So Mrs. Lawrence was our cluster superintendent for the South Atlanta cluster. She is now going to be elementary pre-K through 5th grade for not just South Atlanta, but for Douglas, Mays, South Atlanta, Therrell, and Carver. So she is now taking on pre-K through 5 for those 5 clusters. So you may not see the word cluster utilized on the district site as much simply because the organizational structure has been revamped to where these cluster soups are no longer just supporting one particular cluster. And then you'll see the other cluster soups who have been identified for secondary, and then for priority schools, those schools that are on the ATSI and CSI state list, and then non-traditional programs in schools. So this has been a restructured organizational process that's effective January 2026. And just want to give you a heads up just in case you start noticing not very much usage of the word cluster anymore. And this is part of the reason why. APS Forward 2040, I do like to make sure that everybody is checking out the district's website when it comes to the facilities plan and how Cleveland is one of the 5 schools impacted for closure. So what you'll see on this particular slide is the link for the district's website to make sure that you can go and check out any of the meetings that may be forthcoming, as well as any of the presentations that have already occurred, the board meeting documents, all of those are housed on the district's website. So what I took was the most recent APS 2040 presentation, and I linked it at the bottom of this particular slide for you to have access to if you want to look at the most recent presentation shared with the community. And then I just snipped I guess maybe one of the overarching components from that slide, which is the tentative next steps after the approval. So what you'll see is the road to redistricting and rezoning for any school that's impacted, and a tentative timeline of when this may occur, and then also the road to East Blocks for 2027. So I'll give you a moment just to kind of look through these particular bullet points, but it is housed in the presentation linked at the bottom. And you'll see that it does say that this is going to be a staggered process. Schools that are on the list for redistricting and rezoning for 27-28, that process will begin in 2026 and run through the fall. And then there's going to be another round for schools rezoning in 28, 29, and when that process will begin. So not all of these action items can take place in 27, 28, even though we've been told that it will start in 27, 28. Not all schools will be closed and start the rezoning process for that one particular year. So this will be an ongoing action item that takes place throughout until 2029. All right, so I would like to give an opportunity for any public comment. I'm not quite sure if there were any comments left. Ms. Emmanuel, are you able to share that with us, or are you unable right now to share if there was any public comment?
There were no signups for public comment, and there are no comments on the live stream.
Awesome. All right, so again, I would like to thank everyone for your time and your support. As always, I appreciate you more than you ever know. I will take some of our thoughts and feedback and place it in the appropriate category on the presentation and share the updated presentation with everyone so that we will have it in place for our next meeting, and then you will have a draft of what we've agreed upon as a Go team. Are there any last minute thoughts? Awesome. Well, I've stopped sharing. We can stop recording. And you all are amazing, amazing, amazing. So enjoy your evening. Enjoy your evening. Take care of your families. Go get you something to eat. And I see you in the morning.